is Rise and Reset, part two of our grief and loss discussion. Come on in. First person to join me wins a very special prize. So come on into the room. We are up early. We are getting our day started off to the right, off to a good start. So come on in, everyone. Come on in. All right. So I just want to get myself connected to. Good morning, everyone. It looks like, oh, I gotta go back. I can't see who was the first person, but good morning. Good morning, Thamar. Good morning, Sandy, Deborah Mancuso, Laretha. Good morning, girl. Hector Santiago. Good morning, Hector. Joanne, Denise, Michael, Sandy. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rise and Reset. It looks like there's a tie. So it looks like there's a tie for who got on today at the first. So I'm going to ask my husband to help me out here and let me know because he's watching from another part of the house. But long awaited, anticipated second discussion. Last week we had a few hiccups, but today we have a pre-recorded message from Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, the doctor of naturopathic medicine, and her discussion with Grace, which I want to show you. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and introduce our sponsor. This is our first week having a sponsor. Okay, looks like Thamar was the first to get on. So we have a sponsor for this week, Kathy Savory, who is a beauty consultant for Mary Kay, saw that what we were doing and wanted to go ahead and sponsor us. So she is sponsoring the first person, sponsoring our reward. So the first person to get on and the first person to answer the riddle at the end correctly will get one of these beauty packets. And it is complete with a $10 gift certificate to purchase products from Kathy. And there's some nice goodies. Let me just take it out. There's some hand cream in here, a few samples of her popular hand cream. And then there's a beautiful beauty pouch with some goodies in there, some tasty treats. So congratulations, Thamar. You are first person on, so you are going to be having this shipped to you. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Kathy. So how are you guys doing? You know, how was your week? Let me know how your week was. Go ahead and comment about how your week has been going. All right, so while you're telling me about your week, I'll tell you a little bit about mine. This week we got some tragic news. My husband's cousin had passed away right on the eve of me covering this. So I just definitely think it's so important that I get on here and carry that message. But it's very heartbreaking loss for our family. So please pray for us, pray for my husband and his family and getting through that. But we all have been collectively grieving this period. We have been grieving a loss of just normalcy, a loss of productivity, a loss of hope. For all the seniors graduating, they're missing out on the whole graduation experience. For people who have loved ones who have passed away, they're grieving the loss of being able to bury their loved ones. So this pandemic has taken a lot from us. And we just want to figure out how we can effectively deal with that grief, manage that grief, so that grief doesn't manage us. All right. So let's see how your week has been going. Joan Facey says going okay. Thamar is pushing through, starting to feel like a hamster in a wheel. Okay, I understand that. Laretha, thank you, Laretha, for your condolences. Nicola It's a little busy. And thank you for your sympathy. Thank you, Thamar, for your prayers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sandy, for your prayers. Thank you, Laretha. Okay, so I want to recap. Last week, we talked about the stages of grief, what that looks like to help you identify what are the different stages that one can go through when grieving. And we talked about, I just want to recap here. We talked about the first stage of grief, which is denial. And in that stage, you're contemplating or wrestling with, no, this can't be happening. This isn't true. It's that initial shock of learning that your life has changed, that you've lost a loved one, or that the relationship has ended, those things. And then after that stage, there is anger. Once you realize that the loss is real, you may blame yourself, you may blame others. How could this happen? This is wrong. And then we move into the bargaining phase of grief, where I will do anything to reverse this. I will do anything to bring this person back. I will do anything to save this relationship. I will do anything to get my uh, needs met at this time. Okay. So that is 1, 2, and 3. And then the fourth stage is depression. And during this stage, people want to be alone. They want to isolate, spend a lot of time crying and grieving. And this is that untethering phase. So think about a Velcro strip. And when you're pulling that apart, that's what grief is similar to. You now have to figure out how to live life without your loved one, or how to live life in this new normalcy. See, there's different shades of grief and loss. Um, People grieve any change to their daily routine. All right. Um, so I want to see what you guys are up to. Candia is watching. Good morning. Lizzie says she's hanging in there, trying to be positive with the new normal. Yes, um, this is challenging for all of us, and that's good that you're trying to be positive. That's a good attitude to have to get through that. So our last stage of grief is acceptance. And that's where you've gone through a lot of the purging. You've untethered and you figured out a way to remember your lost loved one, or remember the good times that you had with your classmates. So that's when you start to figure out that you are going to be okay. So those are the 5 stages of grief. Um, Anyone out there experience any of these 5 stages? Just go ahead and type into the comments which phase, whether it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can write the name of the stage that you've experienced with this grief. At this point, with this current quarantine, I think I'm at stage 5 with acceptance, understanding that, this is what we have to do to stay healthy. So doing that and trying to make home as pleasant and joyful for the kids as possible. It's not always easy. So go ahead. Stephanie, good morning. Stephanie reports that she is in the denial phase. So yes, I get that. I understand that. All right. So for those of you who are just joining me, I'm Pernella Harris. This is Rise and Reset. This is a time where we get up early to get encouragement, inspiration to start our day off on a healthy track. All right. So I've just covered all 5 stages of the grief, and I'm asking you guys to let me know, which stage have you experienced? Lizzie Gala said she's experienced acceptance. Michael has experienced acceptance. Nicola, I think I may have hit that depression stage about a week ago. Finally, I'm trying to push past the acceptance and working on a plan forward. Okay, great. So today's discussion is going to really illuminate some things that you can do to get into that next phase. Okay. Laretha, same here. 5, accept a new way of life and necessary through its challenge, though it's challenging. Yes, Laretha. I guess I am in the acceptance stage as well. Okay, that's Joanne Facey. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing with me. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to go ahead and introduce Dr. LaJoyce, um, who is the person that you're going to see in our pre-recorded discussion. So Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire is a full-time wife, mother. She's a ordained minister. She is a master herbalist and a doctor. She has a doctorate degree in naturopathic medicine. She also hosts a Sirius XM radio station, Ask the Good Doctor, where she gives nutritional advice and how to stay healthy and keep your immune system up. That is on the Urban View channel 126. So please check her out. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys introduced to Dr. LaJoyce. Very good discussion. So here we go.
Okay. Hi, Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire. You are live now with Rise and Reset. Thank you so much for joining
Good
us
morning,
today.
as we say.
Yes, yes, thank you. So, Dr. Brookshire, I wanted to have you on so that you can talk to our audience about grief and loss. Um, what does your body go through? How does grief impact your body when you are grieving?
The one thing I say about grief all of the time is that if you don't deal with grief, grief will deal with you. How it manifests is with lung issues. Grief
Mm,
settles and finds its way into the lungs. For instance, in my first marriage, my husband was terminally ill with full blown AIDS, and it grieved me deeply. And I'm
mhm.
HIV negative, hallelujah.
Yes.
But in that entire relationship, which was very tumultuous, I was grieving his illness and I
Mm,
was grieving his loss and I was grieving about the deception. And
mhm.
so I had bronchial issues that I could not shake until he died.
Wow.
And then I dealt with the grief. I always tell people go to grief counseling, especially group grief counseling, because it saved my life.
Okay.
Vitally important, vitally essential, and I have not suffered from those kinds of bronchial issues to this day.
Wow,
So
that's
that's how
interesting.
grief manifests. So when a patient comes to me in my naturopathic work as a with having recurring issues, and we talk more about their life and what they are doing in their life, I may find out that their lifestyle is grieving them.
Mm,
That their job, they go to a job that they can't hate, that they hate and
mhm.
can't wait to get out of, and that grieves the spirit because we are mind, body, spirit, and electrical. And in order
Yeah.
for us to be in perfect health, which I believe we can attain, in order for us to be in perfect health, we must attend to all four of those things in order for us to do so. And to separate either one or the other, or to try to attack just one or the other, something suffers, something's
Yes.
lacking, and the others need attention as well.
Wow. And the way we are interconnected, and you're so
Mhm.
right. And I never heard it explained that way. So thank you so much for giving that nugget to us that we need to address all areas because our environment does impact what's going on internally. So even if there isn't like a death, but there could be just a grieving process where you're stressed or overwhelmed. So thank
Yep.
you so much for that. What advice would you give to someone right now who's grieving? And it's funny that you mentioned that it actually impacts your lungs because we're dealing with a pandemic that attacks your lungs.
That's right.
So, what advice would you give someone right now who um, is struggling with the quarantine, with their loss of productivity, their loss of uh, just normalcy, the fact that they may have lost their job or a loved one.
Hmm.
What advice would you give to those individuals?
Well, the first thing I would say is to acknowledge the grief and to acknowledge the loss. Because at this moment, there is not one person who has not been affected by
Hmm.
COVID 19, whether that be someone they know personally who has died or someone who they know who knows someone who has died. But
Hmm.
we have all lost a lot. We've lost wages. Some people have permanently lost their positions. We have lost access to one another. We have lost access to our places of worship. And we are
Hmm.
human beings who thrive on human connection.
Hmm.
And in public places outside of our families, we can't touch one another. And especially in Black and brown communities, that's how we greet one another. Ah,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
that's just it's just familial, and
Hmm.
in other communities as well. And I'm not just saying that it's just ours.
Hmm.
However, we can't do that anymore because
Yes.
we have an infectious disease that has is a menace to society currently. I would
Hmm.
suggest that people definitely speak it, and because once we tell our truth, it means a lot for us to
Yes.
be able to speak our truth and to stand in it. And we have to trust that we know that the truth we are telling, that we are allowing it. We are allowing ourselves to recognize it. There's nothing wrong in allowing it. And therapy, I say absolutely get it.
Yes.
Get therapy, call Brunella
Yes.
ASAP, and
Yes.
treasure what we know or what we know we can get back to someday, and treasure the memories that we have of the things that perhaps are gone away or the person that is gone away, because remembering the times that we had with the person that we love is the best thing to help us get to the phase of acceptance in
Hmm.
terms of grief and loss.
Yes.
And then we have to treat ourselves and our bodies and our minds and our spirits with care. We have to do incredible self care for ourselves. We have
Hmm.
to amp up whatever your self care regimen is. We need to
Yes.
amp that up by
Yes.
10,000. So if you walk currently for 30 minutes, maybe you walk an hour.
Hmm.
And I found myself craving the need to be outside for longer periods of time. Generally, I'm
Yes.
out of the door as soon as day breaks because I've always been an early riser. We say early to bed, early to rise, work, 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 and advertise. And
Hmm.
so
Yes.
that has always been my mantra. But I, me and my dog hit it. I say I walk my dog and myself
Okay.
simultaneously, and we
Good.
do the mountain, we do the track. And as soon as day breaks, we're out there. And I'm finding myself just languishing
Hmm.
out there, enjoying it more,
Yes.
feeling the crisp, the coolness, the breeze, the air, and really soaking in and appreciating, because you never really know what you're missing until it's taken from you. It's
Yes.
my prayer that people will use this time wisely to assess their situations, and people call this the new normal. And I say, what are the bad habits that we need to get rid of? What
Mm.
are the bad
Yes.
habits that have come to our spirits and our presence and our thoughts
Yes.
of, you know what, doing those things or being with those people, that wasn't good for me. Like, we're on quarantine, so we really shouldn't be driving through Dunkin' Donuts every day, even though Dunkin' Donuts is open. Okay,
Hmm.
because even though they say
That's
America
me.
runs,
But I'm learning. I'm getting it. I'm soaking it in.
that's right. They say America runs on Dunkin', and because America has run on Dunkin', America is sick. We are
Yes.
not a society that should be ingesting as much coffee that makes it a
Mm.
gazillion-dollar business in the first place. But I digress, and that's another talk, Prunella.
Okay.
However, but what we need to understand is that the people who are the coffee addicts, and instead of making coffee at home, or just skipping it all together if they don't have a coffee maker, but people have resorted to making that coffee at home. And
Hmm.
also, instead of making reservations and driving through drive-throughs, people are being forced to cook now, and hopefully that they're cooking healthier options,
Yes.
and or are looking up how to cook healthier options. I have a new cookbook for that, by the way. But
Oh,
also, those are the things that we
okay.
need to do and say, take an assessment and really say, I haven't spent this much time in my kitchen since, I don't know, ever. And I'm
Yes.
getting a lot of reports about people who are just saying, from people who are just saying, I never cook like this. I haven't cooked since I was at my mother's house. I haven't had this kind of food since, you know, people are saying those things. And I'm
Yes.
thinking, oh my gosh. So we have really suffered as a society. Additionally, when we go through a crisis, it drives you to your knees. And
Mhm.
if it doesn't, it should. And you could pray to the Lord God Almighty or whomever you call Lord, whomever you
Mhm.
call God, just when you just the surrender in knowing it's not you
Yes.
and the thankfulness, being in thankfulness, that which we should drive that should keep us thriving.
Mhm.
But just in case on the off chance that you're not thriving, that give yourself some credit
Mhm.
and not be so hard on yourself, because
Yes.
we need to be thankful for the fact that, you know what, I opened my eyes today and went without
Mhm.
pain. And I can hold my
Yes.
breath for that full 10 seconds and not cough,
Yes.
okay? Which is a
Yes.
sign of being infected. And so the little bitty things that
Mhm.
we have been accustomed to, moving so fast and moving about so quickly and not giving thanks for, that this is a time to embrace that thankfulness. And
Yes.
honestly, when you look at how thankful you are in present right
Mhm.
now, that also helps a multitude of grief.
Wow. You hit on something that I wanted to get back to. That's great
Sure.
advice that, this pandemic has really unveiled, unsurfaced, uncovered some bad habits, and things that we took for granted. You're right. I am
Hmm.
cooking more, and it's my energy is up though, and so I am eating healthier. I am relishing in the sunny days and just getting outdoors when we can. So you're right. It does. There's always some opportunity when you go through crisis, and it's just a matter of switching your focus to focus on those things rather than what is going wrong or what is lost, trying to kind of figure out what lessons can I learn out of this. um, so
Yes.
I am very interested in what naturopathic medicine is. Can you educate us on that?
Sure. As a naturopathic doctor, I teach how to attain, maintain, and reclaim perfect health, because I certainly believe in the perfect health model. And we also do treat our patients without any medicine at all. We use
Mm.
everything from nature to keep you well.
Okay.
So, in this epidemic, I am advising people to bolster their immune systems
Mhm.
by doing a few things that even cost you no money.
Okay.
You can bolster your immune system, four basic things that will help you, and it costs you $0.
Take
So as
notes,
we,
people. Take notes. Get
pardon
the
me,
notepads. I'm telling
that's right,
individuals to get the notepads because we about to get the tea. Okay,
that's
go ahead.
right, because we're in the midst of a crisis and trauma, and to be able to maintain ourselves during this time alone is productivity.
Hmm.
That's what you need to give yourself credit for. You are being productive just maintaining and opening up and getting out of the bed every day.
Yes.
And so the other thing that you can do to help your health is that, number one, you can drink a glass of water every hour you're awake.
Mm.
Okay? What does that
Okay.
cost you? Okay?
Yeah.
Number two, because you're drinking the water, you can pee and poop when nature calls you to pee and poop.
Mm.
Now you don't have the
Yeah.
excuse of, I'm at work, I don't like to pee. I don't want to use those bathrooms in public places. I don't want to do this. I got another meeting. I'll pee after this. I'll wait
Hmm.
till I get home. Your
Yeah.
kidneys are screaming, your bladder
Mm.
is screaming. Do you know that the new cancer on the block is bladder cancer? Because
Mm.
people hold on to the waste. Your kidneys are cleaning the body 4 times every single hour.
Wow.
4 times every 15 minutes, your kidneys are doing its job and depositing the waste in the bladder,
Mm.
waiting for you to decide, I'm going to pee now. Well, if you
Oh,
wait
okay.
3 hours, the kidneys have done their thing 12 times. Look at it like that.
Hmm.
All right. And for
Yeah.
a healthy body, we should poop 3 to 5 times per day.
Okay.
Now, If you're eating healthy food, which I think that most of the nation is going to be forced to do because there's going to be a meat shortage very soon. Mark my words. Grocery stores are already rationing,
Okay.
and I could not even get the organic chicken that I purchase a lot. I like to buy mine at ShopRite. I like to buy mine at Wegmans. You can only purchase two
Oh,
of the organic chicken. You could
okay.
purchase two of any kind of chicken, okay, or any kind of anything. They only allow you to have two. So guess what? You all are all going to be eating more vegetables, more grains, more
Hmm.
beans, which is going to be healthier for your body, which means that it might send some of your systems into shock, okay? And guess what? You're going to poop and your body's going to thank you. So
Okay.
don't ignore the signals.
Okay.
So pee and poop when nature calls you to pee and poop because that's vitally important too. The
Okay.
other thing is go to bed at 10 o'clock. And just because you don't have somewhere to be the
Yes.
next day doesn't mean you need to stay up all night. Let me tell
Yes.
you something, the body only repairs itself when you're sleeping.
I try to have that
Only.
conversation with my children, like, "You're gonna grow if you go to bed on time."
That's
But I've
right.
also been covering this issue because you change your circadian clock. When you start going to sleep later and getting up in the afternoon, your body cycle is all off, and that
That's
and
true.
actually has a terrible effect on your mental health as well. So I'm
As
very
well as your physical health. Like I
yes.
said, mind, body, and spirit, you cannot
Yes.
separate it. You
Yes.
cannot separate it. We're supposed to rise with the day, with the
Mhm.
morning. We're supposed to
Yes.
meet the morning. That's what we are designed to do. When we look at Moses and all those guys, they didn't have electricity. We were spoiled by it. And we're spoiled by Netflix binging, watching, and all of that stuff. Late
Mhm.
night every once in a while, a binge night with the family, absolutely.
Yes.
Consistently, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So actually, we know this is not going to last forever. Stay
Mhm.
on your regular sleep cycle habits. But a lot of people operate on very little sleep or make the claim that I'm a night owl. No, you're not. No, you're not. Do you
Mhm.
know why they call the graveyard shift the graveyard shift? Because it leads people to an early grave.
Mm.
We're not supposed to
Okay.
be up all night. We're not designed for that. The one
Yeah.
thing I disliked the most when I did my chaplaincy work at Lehigh Valley Hospital was the days that I had to work a 24-hour shift.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, the
Yeah.
days that I had to work a 24-hour
Those are
shift. But
tough.
you're working in a level one trauma center, somebody's got to do it, which is why it rotates.
Yeah.
But for people who work on that kind of shift consistently, let me tell you, I know they pay you more. Why do you think they pay you more?
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
save your money and get out.
Yeah.
That's what I
Quality
say.
of life
And the
is
final
important.
thing, the fourth thing that you can do that costs you no money is exercise. You don't need a gym. You don't
Yeah.
need fancy equipment. As you know, the gym is closed.
Mhm.
Run up and down the steps, run up and down the mountain, run around your house, run around outside of the house, get sunlight without
Yeah.
glasses to let the vitamin D soak into the eyes. No glasses, no sunglasses, no contacts. If you really needed to see, sit outside for 30 minutes and then do your exercise outside.
Wow. That's great advice. So let's recap. Number 1,
Drink water every hour you're
drink water.
awake.
Okay. And number 2,
Pee and poop when nature calls.
number 3,
Go to bed at 10 o'clock.
number 4.
Exercise every single day.
Wow. I'm just lots of nuggets.
And
I
your
know you
immune
guys, your
system will
minds
thank
were
you. Your immune system will be strengthened because of this. Because I'm going to tell you something. We're going to meet COVID again, and it's going to have another number behind it. It's not going to
mhm.
be COVID-19. My
So
friends at
practicing this is
DARPA,
helpful.
my scientist friends, are telling me that this strain of coronavirus is very elusive. It is changing its
Mm.
stripes every 16 days. And this is why we have seen the list of symptoms go from this to this.
Yeah.
At first, it was just cough and fever.
Mhm.
And now it's headache, it's night sweats, it's chill because they are adding to it because they are learning about it as it's happening.
Yeah.
So
Good.
the best line of defense is your immune system. It is your front line. It is your army, your navy, your Marine Corps. It is on you. And I did one of these talks with a dear friend of mine who is an apostle now, and she said that coronavirus in that word is on us.
Mm,
And I was like, yes,
yeah.
on us, because it is. I'm pretty hardcore on I tell my listeners all the time, I know I'm hard on you.
Mm,
I teach them things, I challenge, and I'm hard on you for a reason, because you have to be able to withstand whatever may come our way.
mhm,
Obviously, we know now that if the wind blows, it may something funky may attach to us, but that has been always. We've learned a lot right now with how far the droplets travel. Yes,
mhm.
right?
Yes.
And those black lights showing us how far it travels when we speak, how far it travels when we sing, how far it travels when we cough and sneeze, and the intensity of it. It's up to 24 feet.
Yeah.
Who can withstand? I'm surprised we're not dead already.
Mhm.
Okay. But guess what? It's our immune systems that keep us. And
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience, Prunella, because I am a woman who was married to a man who had full blown AIDS and I did not catch it.
Yeah.
But I have always been this girl that I am right now, even before I had a doctorate degree. In addition to my rock solid immune system, I also say that I was covered by the blood of Jesus and his grace.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know a lot of other people who did not have this story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate you sharing all of those mind-blowing nuggets on how we can improve our um, immune system, how what we can do to take care of ourselves. Um, so, how can people learn more? I know you mentioned you have a new book coming out. Um, do you have any of your books readily available? If not, what about your website?
No, I have a new book out.
Okay, hold that up to the camera. Let me hide myself.
This is Kitchen Warriors 101, Homemade Healthy, and it is a cookbook with recipes, traditional recipe favorites, remixed in a healthy way with ingredients that won't kill you. Okay. And so the whole purpose of it, it has nutritional notes, tells you how to shop, what should be in your cabinet, nutritional notes and anecdotes. And it came out 2 weeks ago. I'm supposed to be on a book tour right now, but I'm not fretting over that. I am going to actually, if you check my YouTube channel, you'll see a live presentation that I did just Saturday on. We're going to do a virtual. We did a virtual book signing. We've got to figure out creative ways to keep our businesses going and to get information to people. So the virtual book signing is on my YouTube channel, which is Ask the Good Dr. LaJoyce. Please subscribe. And also, there are hundreds of videos, about 119 videos on YouTube right now to help you so that you can learn all of the things that I have been teaching and why I'm so passionate about helping people so that they can maintain perfect health.
YouTube is Ask the Good Doctor.
LaJoyce. Ask the Good Dr. LaJoyce. Ask the Good Doc on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor. And you can listen to me on SiriusXM Urban View, channel 126, every Sunday at 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Well, thank you so much. And so now you guys know how to get in contact with Dr. LaJoyce. She has such a breadth of knowledge when it comes to naturopathy. She's also a master herbalist and an ordained minister. So she is coming from the interconnected space where there's the mind, body, and spirit. So thank you so much for all of this information. And everyone, I hope that you've got something from this on how we can move forward in our grieving process or grief and loss. For those of you who are experiencing grief, I do recommend that you connect with a mental health professional, one in your area. All right, until next time, thank you so much. You guys
Bye
take
bye.
care.
That was mind blowing. Um, let me hear your comments. What did you think about that? Was your mind blown? Let me see mind blown because my mind was blown. Um, Dr. LaJoyce is just just very knowledgeable in her approach. And us grieving, we really need to ramp up our self care. Yeah, I see. I'm getting lots of hearts from Sandy and Courtney. Yeah, that was mind blowing. I know we went over a little bit, but I really just thought that this information was so impactful that it will definitely start your day off right with just knowing that. That way you can have a good gauge on how to take care of yourself, how to nurture yourself through the grieving process. Shantae Rowland says, good stuff. Thanks, Shantae. They are mind blowing. Lizzie, yes. Lizzie Gallus says, yes. All right. So, without further ado, because we're already over, I have an opportunity to win one more of these Mary Kay gift baskets. Now, here's the riddle. First person to go ahead and get this riddle correct wins, and I'll contact you directly for the shipping information. All right. So, here we go. Okay. What has hands but cannot clap? First person to answer that. What has hands but cannot clap? So, to win the riddle, answer that question. What has hands but cannot clap? While we're getting the answers for that riddle, I want to remind you that we do this every Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. Rise and Reset, right here from Facebook. So like us, share it out. We're trying to build this community, get as much wellness and coping strategies and tips for everyone, so that we can just get through this pandemic together. All right. We got a bunch of answers. Okay. So let's see yes, it is a clock. Now let's see who the first one, Thamar, but Thamar already won, already won. So we have to go to the next person, Lizzie Gala. Congratulations, Lizzie. You won the Mary Kay uh, gift basket. I'll contact you directly for shipping information. All right. Have a great day on purpose, guys. You take care. I'll see you next week.